About time for another Coach Life. The last Coach Life, we were talking about returns. Coach Life before that, penultimate Coach Life, we were talking about investments. When I was teaching English, one of the major tenets of the instruction was to understand the process of wisdom. And then it dawned on me today that the process of acquiring wisdom is the same thing as a return on investments. So I will give it to you today. What you want to do is you want to have 3 blocks, 3 silos, 3 sections. And you want to label them. The first section is information, info. The second section is knowledge, knowledge. The third section, wisdom, wisdom. What you want to do is you want to collect a large amount of information, a sizable amount. And then you want to convert that information. So you have the numbers and the ideas and the letters or whatever it is that's information. It could be body language. It could be whatever it is that you're studying, paying attention to, giving your life force to. You collect that information. And then you want to convert all of that information into some kind of knowledge. That's your second column. Now, mind you, if you have a lot of information, but you can only get a little bit of knowledge out of it, that's fine. That's fine. You're working with something. But you want to always collect a lot of information, good amount of information, and convert it into knowledge. Even if you have a tiny amount of knowledge, let's say you have 50 information points. This person was, let's say it's a biography. This person was born this day, they did this in their life, they did this, they had a child or whatever, boom, 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 and then they passed away, but they left behind a legacy of whatever, whatever. So all information. From that informative life structure, you should be able to get some knowledge out of it. Like, oh, when they were 14, they did this, and I was in a similar scenario, and I did a similar thing, but I didn't do it like that. So if I did it like that, I could be, it would be a better investment for me. Right? Maybe if when that point came of breaking, I decided to fight and to put my all into it and to not break. So from that information, that life story, you can convert it and get some knowledge out of it. Now, as you mature, your knowledge stack should increase. As you spend more time with the information, your knowledge stack should increase. So you got the one gem, push through in those moments. Oh, it's important to be a good person because over time, truth comes to light. So all of your deeds add up and it will benefit you and your reputation. Is that all of that stuff, right? So that's your knowledge. Then from the knowledge stack, you want to convert it into wisdom. Wisdom is not I think this is true because I've processed the information, but I know this is true because I've processed the knowledge. So once you build up, let's just say you got a couple of gems in the wisdom stack. Over time, you'll see all of that information led to the knowledge, and all of that knowledge led to the wisdom. Over time, you'll see the wisdom are the things that compete with timelessness or perhaps prove to be timeless. And those are your classic, you might come across the wisdom early in life and think, what? That's one of the dumbest things I ever heard. And then over time, after processing enough information and knowledge, see that the wisdom's, oh, that was right all along. That's what happens when you're a kid, when you're young, when you're a young adult even, when you hear wisdom, if you haven't done the work of processing to get to wisdom, it's fallen on deaf ears. There's a phrase, I think it's a biblical phrase, don't cast your pearls before swine. And there was even a comic strip called Pearls Before Swine. And it's pretty hard to understand if you haven't studied where it comes from or the context, but essentially swine are pigs and pearls are very valuable things that essentially come from I believe it's the oyster, just a bit of sand that gets in the oyster and agitates the oyster, so the oyster continuously builds up a mucus type of thing to deal with the sand, and over time it becomes pearl. Pearl is very valuable. It's like a diamond. But what is a pearl or a diamond to a bunch of pigs? They're just eating everything, and no disrespect to the intelligence of the pig. It's just they don't have a value structure for pearls just yet. Not to say that ours is great. It's just like it is valuable in our value structure. So when the saying, don't cast your pearls before swine, that means don't just give out gems to people who can't appreciate it. That's something you learn after you go through the process of acquiring wisdom. So I figured I would give you that Coachlife gem because, especially in today's day and age, there's a lot of casting of pearls before swine. And I'm guilty myself. But for those of us who are on the journey of acquiring wisdom, it's healthy to remember that. So, Coachlife.